talking to Lincoln Riley means we're close enough to football that we can start talking to some ball coaches about the upcoming season. And Coach, I'm going to start in a weird place. I just want to know, have you moved your stuff into your new office yet?
I have. I don't have quite as much as Bob did, so I've got a little space to fill, and it's a pretty big, nice office. So, but we're in there, and it's starting to feel like home a little bit.
I was thinking about it driving into work today. I imagine it must be somewhat like if you buy a big new house and you got to fill it with furniture. Well, there's a lot more room to fill, and you realize that Coach Stoops filled that space with nearly 20 years of memories and winning lots and lots of ball games. When you look around that space and you think about what he did, is it at all intimidating?
I wouldn't say intimidating. I mean, it's definitely, his record, here is incredible. But you look over the history, with Coach Owens, Bud Wilkinson, Barry Switzer, I mean, all those guys, you know that's just been part of OU football. And and I think, for a guy like me, you can't look at the big picture like that. You've got to look at it, this is a traditional one game at a time, one season at a time, and those are things that take years and years to do. But if you do it right at a place like Oklahoma, you've got a chance to accomplish great things like those guys did.
It always fascinates me when a guy who does have such a great relationship with players from a coordinator standpoint now becomes the guy who's in charge. How does that change the relationships, or how can they possibly stay the same as you transition into a different role?
Well, I've always, and from the time I became a coordinator, tried to look at it as almost like being the head coach of the offense, and that you have great relationships with them, but you've also got to be in charge. You've also got to discipline them, make the tough decisions. Now I see it as just being on a bigger scope with obviously all of our players, and then again being in a little bit different role as far as leadership within the staff.
I swear this isn't a loaded question, and I try to think of how to ask it different, but as great as Bob was, in what ways can you be better?
Yeah, no, it is. That's a tough question again, just because of the consistency was incredible. But I think we've got so much momentum now moving into this brand new facility. I think has already started to affect recruiting. We've been on a great run lately, and we think we can continue to build on the classes we've had in the last 2 years and be one of those groups that has one of the top recruiting classes in the country year in and year out. So we think we're on the right track. We feel like coming off back-to-back top 5 finishes, that we're right there on the cusp of having a chance to win another national championship.
College football is a sport when, if you have continuity at quarterback and you've got a guy like you've got, it is such a luxury. How much does that calm the nerves entering a tough schedule with a really good opponent on the road very early on?
Oh, no question. It makes a huge difference. You've got a guy that's one of the had one of the greatest runs of quarterbacking play in recent memory. Has been a great road quarterback, which I think has been really key to our back-to-back Big 12 championships the last 2 years. A guy that has the respect of the team. He's the unquestioned leader of our squad. So it's obviously a critical position, and he's played it as well as anybody in the country the last 2 years, and we've got big expectations for him again this year.
I don't believe anything on Wikipedia because they got my birthday wrong, but I think if I got it right, I think your birthday smack dab in between Texas El Paso and a road game against Ohio State. And given what you got early on, how much can you even enjoy when you have your birthday, given how busy you'll be and the job that you've got now, Coach?
I enjoy it. We enjoy the competition. I've enjoyed the new parts of this job so far. You've got to enjoy the challenges, the challenges of UTEP here the first game, of going up to Ohio State the second game, and the rest of our schedule. I mean, that's why you come coach or play at a place like Oklahoma. If you don't want to be in those big games, this is not the place for you.
Well, you're indoors and you're on television, so I guess it's not the place for a visor. But I assume that we will see that on the sidelines, because I don't know. Like I was joking with you before we started. Me without my glasses, you without your visor. I don't know if people would know who they were talking to. So we're going to have that for the fall or what?
I think we've had a pretty decent run with it, so we better hang on to it.
Heck yeah. Well, listen, Coach, I appreciate a little bit of time. All the best through summer camp, and give them hell this fall. You hear?
All right. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you.